Hello, this is John and Eva's channel. I'm John, and this video will be just with me and my sister, Rachel. For anybody who doesn't know, we've been traveling around the world. My wife and I, Eva and I, have been traveling around the world for a year and 9 months. And for over 3 weeks, Rachel has been with us. She joined us in New York, and yeah, been traveling around. So in this video, I'm going to ask some questions to Rachel, to you.
Yeah.
And about your experience having me as a brother.
Sounds good.
So the first question is, what was it like to have, or what is it like to have an older brother like me? Have me as an older brother.
Well, it's kind of a vague question, to be honest, but having you for a brother was pretty, I don't want to say uneventful because it sounds kind of mean, but you weren't around very often because you were always, like, even before you and Yeva got married, you were always traveling, so you were away most of the time. I think you said it was when you were 17, you left for teaching English in Russia, and then after that you just kept going places. So you were in Montreal, you were in Alberta, you were back in Russia, you went on a mission to Ukraine, and you were just always traveling. You were in the US, so for the most part I didn't really know much about you. I knew I loved you because you were my brother, but there wasn't much to know, I guess, about you. So I found being on this trip with you and Yeva has been really interesting for me because I've learned more about you and Yeva. So yeah.
Next question, then, it goes right along with your answer, I guess. What changed when I left? I guess for you or at home in general.
What time? It depends, because I got your room when you left on your mission, so
Yeah.
that changed. That was the first time I had my own bedroom. So that changed
you,
a
right?
bit, yeah. Because Rebecca and I always shared a bedroom up until then, so that was my first time having a bedroom to myself. Because you were so much older than us, life was pretty normal. Like, we went to school and stuff. It was still kind of weird, though, you not being there, because even though you weren't always there, we kind of knew that you were going to come back. But when you left on your mission, you were gone for 2 years, so it was kind of just like a little bit strange, not knowing that you weren't going to be back for like a long time. So that was weird.
Yeah. I guess I should explain also that I'm the oldest of 5 kids, and then we have a brother named Daniel, and then Rachel has a twin sister, and then we have another brother, and Rebecca, and then we have another brother, Michael. So I'm 27 and you are
22.
What's your favorite memory of me from childhood?
My best memory of you is simultaneously a bad memory because it was the day that I jumped off of a trampoline and landed on the dirt garden rake that had like those metal spikes or whatever for the rake part, and I cut my foot really bad. And that day you jumped on the trampoline, like, you actually weren't even outside with us, but like somebody ran in to tell mom and dad, and you came out and jumped on the trampoline with me and held me because I was shaking so bad from, I guess, shock of landing on it or whatever. And I was bleeding, and you were just holding me and making sure that I was all right. And yeah, I think that's probably my best memory of being with you. So
it's really nice.
That combined, with traveling with you guys now is also going to be.
It's up there with the rake.
Yeah, it's up there with the traveling and the rake.
Do you remember arguing with me, or like I don't know, like the worst argument you ever had with me, or any that stand up?
I think you were like a little bit too like above me for me to like argue with you, because you're kind of like, you're the older brother, so it's kind of like, well, I can't argue with him. But I know when we were little, like a lot younger, when I was like probably like 4 or something like that, I remember you were supposed to be babysitting us or something, and mom and dad hadn't left yet, and I was just in a bad mood or something, so I was just like, I'm gonna have to listen to you, you're not my dad. And mom got really mad at me for some reason. I don't remember exactly why or all the details, but yeah, she got really mad.
I don't remember that. It's interesting. It's interesting how everybody remembers different things.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like there's not a question that we have in here that will talk about this, and you don't remember it, and I don't remember very well either, but just for the record, when you were tiny, when you were like a newborn, I basically broke your collarbone.
I do know that, and I still feel it too. Actually, whenever it gets like whenever the weather's acting weird or whatever, I start getting pain in my collarbone or whatever.
So
Mom told me the story about that. Yeah.
But I don't remember the story super well. But as far as I remember, I think you were on my back. Like I was.
No, I was on the floor being changed. I was getting my diaper changed, and you were giving Daniel a horse ride or something, and he flipped over.
Yeah, so I was like on my all fours, and Dan was on my back, and then he fell on you.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like his fault.
It's kind of your fault too, but I think it's both.
What have I taught you? What lessons have you learned from me?
Well, I think that I don't know if they count as lessons, but you've always been kind of an inspiration to me. You're a very smart person, and you've always kind of just gone for what it is that you want to do. So I feel like you've influenced me in a way to kind of be more confident in myself and wanting to go after the dreams that I want to go after. And this whole traveling with you and Yeva has also kind of made me realize just how like competent you are in the things that you do, because you're like, oh, this isn't gonna work. Okay, well, we'll figure something else out to do, kind of thing. So I don't know if those count as lessons or whatever, but
sure.
Yeah.
Thanks. Should we hug?
Yeah, it was in the background, just like, give her a hug. Yay.
I wonder if you have an answer to this one. How did you imagine my future when we were younger? It's like who will I become, or what will I do when I grow up? Who will I marry? Where will I live? Yeah, something like that.
Well, because you were always traveling, I know that I remember talking to Mom sometimes, and she always told me that you always wanted to like travel, so I knew that you would be traveling a lot. Or that's something that I always assumed you'd be doing. And I always assumed like that you'd have a big family. That's probably just because I've always assumed that I'd have a big family, just because of the fact that we come from a larger family. So I've kind of just figured that you'd want more kids. I always knew that the woman that you would marry would be an incredible person, just because you yourself are so intelligent and so caring that it wouldn't seem logical for you to choose somebody who didn't exceed that. So the fact that you are married to Yeva makes a lot of sense to me, because she's beautiful, she's intelligent, she's funny, and she's just so loving. So you guys kind of make a perfect couple together. So
thank you. That's really nice.
And Yeva's blushing in the background.
What's the weirdest thing about me?
The weirdest thing I do. The weirdest thing you do. Weirdest thing you do. I don't really think you do anything that's like particularly weird, aside from like you're very like. I think when you were younger, you were very rebellious, so you were always doing like kind of. Not necessarily outlandish things, but like you were really into rap for a long time, so you kind of dressed like a thug a little bit. Like you always had like a bandana on and stuff like that. You always did things that were like kind of dangerous. So like you've broken a lot of bones. I know you like used to GT off of the off of Bill's shed or whatever into the snow and stuff. And they always used to like you'd always be the first one to kind of like try and make a snow slide during the winter or whatever to like go tubing on. Things like that. So I don't know if that would be considered weird, but like I don't know, you hammered a nail into your nose. So I guess it's weird.
That's probably
like you're always doing kind of outlandish things, I guess, like more adventurous things.
Fair enough. What is the coolest thing about me?
I think it's super cool that you can speak so many languages. I think that's really awesome. I mean, I kind of take it for granted that I can speak French and that I'm bilingual, but the fact that you like took the time to learn so many other languages besides French, which is something that we were probably going to learn anyway because of our grandparents and our mom, it just is really, really cool. I think that it's super awesome that you were willing to go out and learn those things, and that I think it's really cool how interested in other cultures you are, and that even now you're thinking about, is it Arabic that you're thinking of learning? Yeah, so Arabic, it's just like
Chinese.
Yeah, exactly. Like the fact that you've already got like 5 languages that you pretty much know, right? So it's just like the fact that you're even like going to try and learn more, it's cool to me. So, yeah.
Thank you. What annoys you about me? What ways do I annoy you?
Sometimes you're like demanding, I guess. Like sometimes you get so into a moment that you don't really like pay attention to what other people kind of want to do, sort of thing. Like as we've been traveling or whatever, like if you want to go see something, you're pretty much like, we're pretty much going to go see it, but I'm going to ask you guys anyway, but it doesn't really matter if you guys want to go see it or not, because we're going to go see it anyway, kind of thing. So,
okay.
That sometimes is annoying, but it's also a good thing, because, you know, at least you have your mindset on what you actually want to see. Whereas I'm just kind of tagging along, so I don't really have much of a choice in the matter anyway.
Okay. Were you ever jealous of me?
I think I was probably jealous of you, like, when I was younger, for the fact that you were older, so you were allowed to, like, you know, stay up late, or you were allowed to, like, do things that I wasn't allowed to do, like go bike to the rock hole or something. Like you and Daniel, I remember once, like, biked to the rock hole and I wasn't allowed to go. And then the one time that I was allowed to go, it was so long and I didn't want to do it ever again, and I never did, so, well, yeah.
Nice. Is there something that you have wanted to talk to me about but were shy to or afraid to?
No, I don't think so. I feel like any shyness that I had kind of went away after I joined you guys on the trip, for the most part. I mean, it was kind of nerve-wracking being like, so, can I come with you guys? But since it was, like, not on the phone, it was kind of just like, oh, okay, I can probably do this if I just message them on Facebook.
It was easier to type a message.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess we didn't tell that story, really. Probably nowhere we didn't tell the story. We're traveling. And actually, I think we're having car problems at the time, but Rachel was like, just wrote a message, hey, can I come? Basically, and we're like, okay. You know, like, when and how long, you know, but yeah, sure. Yeah. Complete this phrase, my brother is about me.
Okay. My brother is... Do I only get one word?
Whatever you want.
That makes it so much harder, though. The first thing that comes to mind is intelligent, but there's so many other things that I can say. Loving, caring, scruffy. Kind of a cuddle bear. You like hugs and things like that, so kind of like Winnie the Pooh, only red. So yellow.
Winnie the Pooh, red Winnie the Pooh. So you've been with us for over 3 weeks now. How do you feel about your experience so far? I don't know. Maybe what did you hope to get out of it, and what have you gotten out of it so far?
I don't really know exactly what I hope to get out of it. I think I just kind of hope to have something to keep me busy while Jared's away. Because I had just finished school and I was kind of like, well, now what do I do? And I've always wanted to travel. I don't know if I would say that the States were exactly where I wanted to travel, but I figured, you know, it's close to where I live. And I knew that you were headed towards where Rebecca is, so I kind of was just like, well, okay. I want to see Rebecca, so I'll just go with you guys. Although that's changed, but that's all good. So the question is kind of, what have you gotten out of it? What have I gotten out of it?
I mean, have you been kept busy?
Yeah, I've been kept busy.
So that's good.
I've definitely seen things that I never really would have thought that I would have wanted to see, I guess. Like, I'm not much of a city person, so all the cities that we've been to, it's just kind of been, like, really interesting because I kind of get... Because we were raised in the country originally, I've just always preferred the country. So the fact that I've gotten to see New York and
Atlanta, Washington, Chicago.
Where were we in Jersey?
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City, yeah. I didn't want to say Atlantic because it sounds like Atlantis, and that would just sound silly because, you know, that's under the water. I went and saw Atlantis. No. But yeah, like, even though I don't, like, being there was kind of just like, okay, this is cool. Like, I can see why people like living here. It's not for me, but I got to see the culture of those bigger cities that I wouldn't get to see in Nova Scotia, really, because Halifax isn't really that big, even though it's still technically a city. So yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else you'd like to say to me or to our subscribers?
Keep following because they're really awesome, and I think you guys can learn stuff from them. I guess.
Thank you. I guess that's it. Thank you for being on our channel, for agreeing to answer all these questions, and yeah. I'm so weird to speak English. Thumbs up, put a thumbs up, like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and we'll have more videos for you soon. Bye.
Paka paka!
Good job.
What did you think when you heard I was getting married? And what do you think you'll think of Jared when you meet him?
Well, I've kind of met Jared. I don't know him very well, of course, but I've talked to him a little bit. What did I think when you... I don't remember. I feel like I was kind of surprised in a way. Not that you would get married, but I was like... I think I was surprised because you got married like in May, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we got married in December and you weren't engaged, so we're like, wow. That's pretty fast. Yeah. But cool, yeah. It was cool. I mean, I think now too that it's cool, like, though he's not with you, it's cool that like you are married, so like, I mean, you're like part of the club. Like, I mean, when we hang out with other people that are married and like we're married and then I don't know, and you're married too. I don't know. It's kind of
doesn't make it awkward traveling with you guys.
Yeah, maybe less awkward. Yeah, and it's like something in common, I guess.
I feel like actually being with you and Yeva has actually given me kind of like little pointers for marriage. Like the way, like I mentioned when you guys were giving your little talk the other day, like the way you guys like fix your disputes really fast is kind of a good point for me to look up to, I think, because I tend to hold grudges pretty easily. So whenever Jared does something stupid and I get angry, I kind of just like, I hold on to it. I don't want to say I'm sorry, but I really should say I'm sorry. Yeah. Even if I don't feel like I'm the one that did something wrong, I still should. So
that's cool.
I think that it's sweet. I actually have another memory that I was quite proud of with you. Yeah, when I was, I don't know how old we were, but we were inside your room with Daniel. I think we had been watching The Day After Tomorrow, something like that. And Rebecca had called, like, I think she was asking a question about it, and she said the day before tomorrow, and I was like, that's like today, or whatever. And you, like, for some reason, thought that was really funny. And I, for some reason, was really proud of that because you're my older brother and I made you laugh and you high-fived me, so I was just really happy about it.
Oh, that's cool. That's a funny memory. That's cool.
I still feel the same when I make John laugh. I'm like,
yes, I'm funny enough to make him laugh.
That's cool. What did I teach you? So
what did I teach you?
Man, I don't know. Again, it's like...
I feel like you don't really know me all that well, so it's like I can't really teach you anything. Really, because you've always been gone, so you haven't really had the time to, just like I haven't really had the time to really get to know you very well. You don't really know me very well either.
No, we haven't talked about it much, but like, you talked about how I've been traveling and moving around the world or whatever, but like you haven't. But I don't know, like you've like actually pretty much everybody else has gone somewhere else or whatever, and you've traveled a little bit, but I mean, you've been home, so. It's kind of a cool lesson that, like, I mean, that everybody's different, and then some people are, like, happy to just be in one place or whatever, you know what I mean? I mean, maybe you want to go somewhere else too, but, I mean, yeah, that's cool.
Everywhere we go, I'm like, it's really beautiful here, but I still prefer Nova Scotia because it's my home, so.
Fair enough.
So I'm jaded a little
bit.
Yeah,
the more you're away from home, too, the more you appreciate it. It's the same for me, too.
Ты говорил Рэйчел, что она типа, у нее цвет кожи темнее, она обижалась, потом тебе сказала.
Oh yeah, that's something that we never talked about. Is that I used to always tease you that you were adopted.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And because you're darker than any of us.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if that's true right now though.
Yeah, you don't seem so dark nowadays.
No, that's because I spent my last 2 years like inside most of the time, so I've lost all my color.
But yeah, I remember like I used to always joke about that. I remember like one time, at least probably like one time where you were like really serious and you said that you really didn't like it when I did that, and so I stopped. So that was.
I'm not adopted, okay?
And then I kind of felt bad because then like you really, I don't know, you really expressed that you were like hurt by that, and so I stopped doing it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But I just remember that it wasn't just you. Everybody told me that I was adopted. Like Daniel and Rebecca used to.
But I knew you weren't because I was there when you were born. But like but it was just I just thought it was funny to tease you, but it wasn't in the end, I guess.
I find it funny now, so okay.
Okay, so I can do it again.
You can do it again. I'm not
you're
really.
Still light. You're light now, so it won't work.
Yeah, I don't know why it was so dark. Like, I think I just tan like faster than you guys. So, and because we were outside all the time, I feel like I just got darker. Than you
just have a different skin tone, like one shade different. I think. What's the coolest thing about me?
What's the coolest thing about me, John? Come on, what's the coolest thing about me?
Now I think it's probably your art. You know, I guess it's kind of what you said about me is the languages, because that's what I was most into. At this moment, I haven't been doing it so much, but art, yeah, and especially like seeing how. I mean, you've come at it from different angles, like, and tried to study it in school, but even like through all that, like on this trip, as soon as you got here, you started drawing, and pretty much the whole time you've been here, you've drawn, unless you were reading. So yeah, that's really cool. Like, not only like are you good at it, but you have this like drive or obsession with it, which is good.
You know, it's kind of funny because I feel like my whole life, ever since I've like chose to do art, like that's all anybody ever says about me. Like, art is always the fallback thing about like what's interesting about Rachel.
Yeah, but isn't it almost like what you do most?
Yeah, that and read, to be honest. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like most people that tend to fall back on the fact that I do art as like just kind of an excuse to be like, oh, I don't really have to think. No.
But you said languages about me.
Yeah, but that's something that like I actually really do think is super cool. But,
hey, I think it's cool that you
I
do
know.
art.
I'm just saying. It just made me think about that when you said it. It was just something that I was just like, yeah, ever since I've been little and I've always been doing art, that's it. What everybody says is like interesting about Rachel is that she always does art, or that she's always drawing.
You read like all the time, but does that ever make you want to write?
Yeah, all the time actually. I actually have on my phone. I have a in my cloud notes or whatever. I actually have a specific folder that has book ideas that I would like to write sometime in the future. Of course, listening to the podcast that you've had in the car or whatever has been making me realize that like I probably shouldn't just like wait for someday to write those. I should probably like actually start trying to like write those.
Bye.
Paka paka.
Good job.